Good afternoon. I'm Sunil Jain, an IC. I have got my colleague Mr. Saurabh Sahu is also with me. So I am here basically. We have done a lot of e-governance applications for governance kind of situation, and I would like to share what all we have done. It's a quite long list of applications, and let us see how much we can share with you. Our applications basically are more or less more towards e-governance, capturing the authentic data, capturing the data directly from the field with accuracy and with responsibility, what is there. And in offline mode, even if the connectivity is not there, you can capture the data in offline mode and then get it synchronized. So couple of applications which we have done is that recently we have launched this M-Pravesh. This is an app for all students basically of higher education department who are studying in over 1100 colleges. And there's another is the Geo Mapper for schools. We have around 1.25 lakh schools, so we have created this application which will allow us to get the geo coordinates of all schools. We can also capture the facilities and other infrastructure available in those schools. That again is going to be very accurate information, but that is being geotagged. Third one is the GP CHAM, that is Gram Panchayat Hardware and Accessories Management and Monitoring System. All these applications basically can be used in some other context also. It is not that it can be used for government department like Panchayat, other things. One is for the TSC, then population register. One application involves the scholarships. We have been doing scholarship systems for couple of states. So using that app, you can any student can track the status of the scholarship. What is the status, where my application is currently, whether it has been sanctioned, disbursed, if any objection is there, what is the objection. So these are a couple of applications which I'm going to speak on. So why basically, what's our perspective of application? So we need a single window interface. Basically, if a person is not able to access PC, he doesn't have PC, so he should be in a position to access these services using mobile, smartphone. So our application basically all we are concentrating around smartphones. We are assuming that our government officials or our target clients are likely to have a smartphone, and that too basically it is going to be equipped with GPS, so that it can further be allowed to be more efficient and effective. So we allow basically this allows us to exploit the power of GPS for authenticity. In government sector, basically you need to be sure that this information or photograph or data is actually correct and it has been captured from directly from the field, from the spot where it was supposed to be captured. So geotagging of the data location, then all those things can be again made to be visualized on the satellite imagery, maybe on Google. Then you can also allow a change direction feature, like if you are looking into the works or like any building, so how it was around 3 years back and what is the situation right now. All those things can be seen if you have proper GPS coordinates. You can easily integrate the data which you are capturing using this mobile app with the MIS, and ultimately you can enforce all kind of transparency and accountability into the persons who are on the field. We need basically an Android-based smartphone. It should be with GPS receiver. It costs around 9,000 to 9,000 rupees. We basically propose that the device to be owned by the people who are likely to use it. We don't propagate that it has to be procured centrally and then distributed. Because once it is procured centrally, then it becomes very difficult for people to manage it. And then we also propose that the person who is using the device, we can capture the transactions, how much of the reporting they are doing, how many photographs they have uploaded, what kind of data they have sent, and all those transactions can be calculated, and accordingly some remuneration can be paid to the person, and the remuneration can be slightly on the higher side, so that he has got enough motivation to continue working. Around 500 rupees per month, 400 rupees per month basically is fine. So let me share with you the first e-Pravesh app for college students. As you can see, it has got colleges, fees, then application status, news and update, and contact us. So we in Madhya Pradesh, basically we have around 1100 colleges. These colleges are not engineering colleges, but higher education colleges. These colleges are running BSc, BCom, MBA, MSc, all kind of courses which are non-professional courses. And these colleges have around 11,000 course combination. This is the voluminous basically figure. So many combinations are there. Then you have to have fees and seats for each course, each college. Whether this college has got basically permission to run a course, again it is very important. And if it is has a permission to run a course, what is the total number of seats it can basically it can use, and then what is the fee. All these things have to be authenticated every year, because these things are changing every year. Every year either some new courses are being implemented, earlier courses are being discontinued, permission to a college is also getting discontinued because they could not fulfill the norms. All these things have to be done like every year, and the student needs to know all these things. Earlier what used to happen is their colleges used to admit the students and they did not have permission, and then later on when the things used to come into light, and it was very difficult for government to discontinue such courses, and because the students were supposed to lose 1 year. So all this basically authenticated information once made available to a student, he can take an appropriate informed decision whether I need to apply for this course in this college, and if I apply for this course in this college, whether it is basically approved course, approved college, and what is the fee. So we have come out with a web-based solution, and it allows all colleges to register the courses, seats, fee, and it is again verified on the web. It's a one-time activity in a year, and it's time-bound activity. All colleges, all courses, seats, fee finally gets approved by 15th June. On 15th June, basically, this thing gets frozen. So on web, basically, a student can go and confirm the eligibility of a course. Then he can basically see the colleges in the geography. He can also see the colleges that are running the course of his choice. He can also view. He can also register online for a course, basically for an institute. Then he can generate a challan. He can verify, get his application verified. He can basically, he gets an allotment based on the quota, gender, marks, and reservation criteria. Seat allotment is done online. He can online download the seat allotment letter. He can report, basically then colleges report that the student has taken admission. Automatically the vacancy positions get updated, and then there is no admission after a due date. Earlier, basically the admissions used to continue till basically 1 day before the examination also. Now everything is frozen like by 15th of July. So it basically the web-based system has allowed the enforcement of the time. Now, basically, we thought that, once we have done this system, the student had to come online every now and then to check their status, whether my application has been verified, whether any seat has been allotted to me, what is the status, what is the objection. And again, he had to go online a number of times to the nearest kiosk to confirm basically about the entitlement eligibility for a course. Now, this application basically, the entire set of colleges and courses and their seats and their criteria, all kind of things get downloaded on his app, on his mobile app. And then he can, using his mobile app, he can remain to be basically, he don't go to kiosk. On his mobile app, he can search for colleges. He can search by name, by geography, by anything basically. He can see the seats on his device, fee and vacant seat basically as on date. Like after a first round of counseling, he wants to see the seats available, so he do not visit the kiosk. He can see the seats available on his mobile device itself. He can check his application status. He can check for news and basically related to counseling, and then register his queries and issues. This basically is the interface. Like, he simply types GOVT, all those courses, colleges which have got this string. So this text box basically allow you to write the name of the college, location, or basically any text. So automatically it picks up the name of those college along with the details, which basically have got that string. Okay. Now once you click on the college, you can immediately see that this college is offering these courses. Okay. Now you run on a course, basically you can see these are the MSc Botany, 20 seats, fee is this. Fee for normal person is this, for SC fees is this, and ST is this. So now you can see the fee, you can see the course, you can see the course combination on this device itself without going to the internet kiosk. And then basically for checking the application, once he registers his application online for admission, so he can also check the status. He has to register his applicant ID and then the secret key, and this is his application status basically. So this is the applicant ID, then name, father's name, institute name is right now not available. Your application has not yet been verified, verification date, verify name, challan status, and then at the last, basically this is choice. He has registered a choice for Government Sarojini Naidu College, PG College, Bhopal, and for BCA. So all these things basically he is in full control. He can see it on his device itself. And then basically, he can submit his feedback. Once we have categorized the feedback into different categories. Either it can be a praise, it can be a suggestion, it can be a bug, it can be a problem, or it can be a admission issue. So all these basically feedback, once they are categorized, they are available on the web and they are routed to the concerned person. These are the feedbacks which we have received. Basically, you can see first basically is the date, and then name of the person, his email address, and then his feedback, whether it is praise, problem, suggestion, and this IMEI number of the device in the last column. And basically, we are offering a number of updates to the students right now, that you can again register your choices for the second round of counseling, all those things. So we push in, and his device basically captures, and it indicates that what are the latest announcements and notices and alerts for him. So he need not go to the kiosk. So we have put this app on the Google Play Store, and this is basically as per the Google interface Play Store. This is the locations where this application has been downloaded. You can see some people from China and all the places they have downloaded it. This is ePravesh basically, and then at Google Play Store. We have got a rating of 4.3 out of 5. Based on the user feedback on Google Play Store. These are the couple of feedbacks, and people have appreciated a lot this. The second application is the School GeoMapper. Again, this is a very important application. Right now we have got primary school, middle school, higher secondary schools. Total schools basically go beyond 1.25 lakh schools. So there was, how this came into basically requirement is that we have got a RTE Act. Under RTE Act, we need to have 1 kilometer radius. Primary school has to be there, and a middle school has to be there in 3 kilometer habitation radius, and there's a very stringent norms for facilities and infrastructure. So you see, the norm says that we should have a all-weather school building, number 1, and number 2, there should be classrooms. As per the enrollment, there should be at least 1 classroom for every teacher, office cum store, headmaster room, then barrier-free access, toilet for girls and boys separate, adequate drinking water, kitchen shed, playground, and all those things. So now how to make sure basically all these things are actually there or not. So there was no basically mechanism to see to it that all these things are actually available in field. If you get a paper, they will say all these things are available. But we came out with a solution in which we have given an app. That app basically allows a teacher or anyone to go to the school and to capture the geotagged photograph of all facilities. These are the facilities which have to be clearly classrooms, and then office, and then barrier-free access, that means ramp, then toilet, and then drinking water, playground, kitchen shed. So these photographs, they are taking geotagged photograph, and those photographs are being uploaded onto the web. So I can see that this photograph has come actually from this school, and this school has got these facilities. It is available in public domain. So with authority, with authenticity, we can say that all these things are available. Now anybody can see if the shape of the toilet is bad. So because photograph is available, competent authorities can take an action, like look, this toilet is not functional toilet. This drinking water is not, basically mechanism is not working, ramp is not there, classroom is also of poor quality. So it is available in public domain. So basically now what we have done is that this app was distributed to the officials, and these officials themselves have taken the photograph. No money has been spent. They have used their own devices, and they have taken the photograph, and we are showing that this person has uploaded this photograph. Now how to make sure that this photograph is correct? So we first ask him to take a geotagged photograph of the school name. There is a name basically banner in which you display the name of the school. This is the name of the school, and this is the DICE code. And then we match against this database that he has uploaded this photograph against this school. So if both the two things match, we can be sure that yes, this is the right school from the right location, and the data can be treated as basically valid and correct data. So you can see it's kind of crowdsourcing. We have done around 80-90,000 schools within last 3-4 months. Public can view, and there is zero cost to it as on now. Again, this basically is the device which we have recommended, Android 2.3, GPS enabled, 3 megapixel camera. What we do is that while taking the photograph, we also reduce the size of photograph so that it doesn't cause much burden while uploading. And then, we compress it. Not only you crop it and then compress it automatically, and then 2G external. This is the app. So Mr. Vaibhav Srivastav is there. He is the person who has been driving, because we are there who are writing this application, but there has to be a person in the department who needs to push it. Normally department people, there sort of problems are there. So he has personally seen to it that each and every school gets tagged, each and every facility gets tagged. So this basically, like, this is how you can install the device. I will just run through it. This is the how you import the data. So basically we have integrated it with our existing education portal database. So once you download this application, you import the data for a particular block. So you get the master data of all schools. So you have to select a school and then take a photograph. You enter the DICE code, the system will show you this is the name of the school, this is the HOD address, all those things. And then this system will basically then prompt you to enable the GPS. Basically, normally you keep your GPS switched off, so it will detect that the GPS is off. So it will ask you to enable the GPS. Once you say yes, enable the GPS, so GPS will be enabled automatically. And then you take the photograph. So now you see basically on the top of that school name is there, latitude, longitude, and you are taking a photograph. Now these are the facilities for which a person has to take photograph. So first is the school name and DICE code. So first photograph is you take the school name and DICE code. And the second thing is you take photograph for a school classroom, then you take a photograph for the headmaster room, then you take a photograph for girls toilet, boys toilet, kitchen shed, and playground. So now what we have all these things geotagged and high quality images available in public domain for each school. So I think anybody can make out that the toilet is not functional or it appears to be abandoned kind of thing. Classroom building is not working, is not proper, appropriate. So all these things can be, you take the photo, just clicks the photo, and then you can see the list of schools. These are the photographs. So now when you take the photograph, other thing is that even if he is not online, so it will indicate that these two photographs have not yet been uploaded onto the central server. It is on the device. So once he comes, there is a concept called export data. You click on the export data, and then it will ask you for the username, password. It will ask you to check all those photographs which you want to upload, and then it will be uploaded. So you can also see the list of mapped school. So this is the list of mapped school. Those two photographs have now been uploaded and they have been synchronized. You can see this entire thing onto the web portal also. You can see this is the district, block, then school, DICE code, images for drinking water, kitchen, shed, toilet, boys, they have been captured. Who has captured? So this is Pradeep Aherwal, programmer SSA, DPC Damho. He has captured this. So we are basically giving the name of each and every person who is capturing it and uploading it. And then IMEI of the device, address of the geolocation. Now there are two addresses. One is the address of the school, address of the, basically we extract the geolocation from the photograph and show that this actually is the photograph from this location. And when it was taken only 2 minutes back. And now if you want to click on that icon, it will take you to the Google Earth. So this is basically the status report which allow the state government basically all our senior officials to monitor the progress, how many PS have been mapped, how many MS have been mapped. So this is the visualization on Google. Now once you click on this, it will show you the complete profile of the school. This is the school and this is the address, letrong, all those things. And now it is going to show you the photograph of all the facilities which he has uploaded. So around 90% of the PSMS are complete. Now we have recently created a system in which if somebody wants to open a school, you have to simply enter the lat long. I want to open a school in this lat long. So as soon as you enter the lat long, the system will automatically generate all those schools or primary schools or middle schools in that geography, 1 kilometer or 3 kilometers. If we already have a school in 1 kilometer geography, then our system, basically our managers or our administrators will not be forced to open a school. Right now, because of political compulsions or local compulsions, we have to open these schools. So this is the decision support system which I am just indicating you, that you select the district, you select the block, type of PS, and then you enter the lat long. It will show you all those schools are there which in that particular geography. And we also have developed certain mobile apps basically for works monitoring, in which this single window for all the works being run under different category. So a person, basically Gram Rojgar Sahayak or any other person, can download the works under his domain, and he can basically upload the status of the work, whether it is ongoing, it is not started, held up. He can also take a geotagged photograph, and he can also write the remarks. So what we achieve is that we have the list of all the works which are being undergoing in the different parts of the districts and blocks and janpads, gram panchayats, and what is the accurate and exact status. It is available live. So we don't want much detailed information, measurement book and other things, but at least this information is very crucial. Okay, this work is going on at this place, and currently it is this much. This is the. Now this is very important. I just give me 2-3 minutes more actually. This basically, you know, what happened. We were undergoing a heavy procurement exercise. This project actually failed. So that is I wanted to share why it has failed. Okay, so good experiences and bad experiences. So this is the bad experience. So now what happened was that there is a exercise of, you know, basically we were involved in the procurement of computers, televisions.
Application is good.
Pardon?
Application is good.
हाँ
Application is good.
हाँ
आपका application बहुत अच्छा है.
हाँ
और ठीक है कि वो कुछ कारणों से fail हो रहा है.
नहीं तो so what happened ki we were under a process of procuring around computer system, televisions, and then printer, and then webcam and pen drive. So total hardware cost was around 1.10 lakh rupees per gram panchayat. So I had a good experience of working with Nixie. In Nixie, basically, we were dealing with vendors. Basically, you know, there's always a tussle between the vendor. We enforce heavy penalty clause that you have to deliver these items at this and this location on such and such date. If you are not able to deliver, we will enforce a penalty of 4%, 5% per week, and which is very exorbitant. And it is normally very difficult for anyone to enforce the penalty because we don't have authentic records. How to enforce penalty? And the people go to the, you know, place, and then they get some signature without any dates, and then they write the dates later on. So now this, I had some background of this. So in again Madhya Pradesh, we were having this heavy procurement which was distributed around 23,000 gram panchayats, and we wanted that the hardware must reach there. It must be owned by the gram panchayat sachiv, secretary, basically sarpanch. Everybody should see that this has come. It should not basically get routed or diverted to some other locations. We wanted to enforce that the hardware gets installed on the venue of the gram panchayat itself. How to do it? So vendors basically would like that the entire hardware is dumped at the Janpad Panchayat and let, you know, somebody pick it up and run away, because if some hardware is lost, vendors are relieved from the basically burden of maintaining it. So we created this system. In this system, we asked our vendor basically that whenever you are going to the gram panchayat, you use this application. Okay, so this application, it will download all the gram panchayats of that particular Janpad Panchayat, and then once you install a device, you call all the people. So you first keep that this is the computer, this is the monitor, this is the television, and these are other items. Then ask all sarpanch and sachiv and all these panch to stand there, and then take a geotagged photograph. So there are 2 things are established, 3 things are established. First thing is that all the items basically were actually, you know, landed or were kept in the gram panchayat. Number 1. Number 2, all the people were there who is who of the gram panchayat were there physically present, and they have seen that yes, we have got a TV, we have got a printer, we have got a scanner, we have got a web camera, we have got a UPS, we have got batteries. So let everybody be aware, because this is the hardware which we government is sending from Bhopal directly to the location. Now once they are there, then you take a geotagged photograph, and then you take a geotagged photograph of each and every device in presence of the Gram Rojgar Sahayak and the Sarpanch, public representatives. So the idea was that we can make them own it. Otherwise what they say is that somebody will take away a computer, somebody will take away the television, somebody will take away the UPS printer, they will distribute it, and after 2 years if you go, they say no, it has never come. And vendor is also incidentally happy. Once the vendor goes to the field, he himself suggests कि यार आप इसको बांट दो यहाँ वहाँ, क्योंकि एक बार बांट दिया तो उसको कुछ नहीं करना है, मेंटेनेंस भी नहीं करना है, उसको कभी कुछ देखना भी नहीं है. तो ये चीज़ करने के लिए हमने ये एप्लीकेशन बनाया था कि आप, और इसमें दूसरा बेनिफिट ये हो रहा है, ऑल द फोटोग्राफ्स आर जियो टैग्ड फोटोग्राफ्स. So since the photographs are geotagged and the time is from the satellite, so you can easily track, you know, the final delivery date was, let us say, 1st of July. But actually this has been delivered and installed on 1st of September, 1st of October. So you can easily by system enforce the penalty. This is the penalty for you, and vendor can't say anything. Even if paper record is something to say, we will not take it. This is going to be more authentic record. So this basically, now once it is uploaded, we can show it on the web that under this gram. And as a byproduct, I am getting the geolocation of all the our gram panchayat buildings also. Basically that these are the buildings in all the gram panchayat, so I get a geolocation. So then it is put on the web, and then you can see the list of all the devices that have been geotagged, and along with the people who were present at the time of installation and delivery of the devices. So basically, but it could not run at that time because the vendors did not help us, or they did not try, they obviously were not expected to cooperate. But now what we are saying to our people that, even if, we can send our own people and get it geotagged and photographed, so that after, let us say, local body elections are over now, you will get a new sarpanch after a couple of months, new team of punch. Now what will happen is that they will start creating ruckus that this things were well and never received. So this will allow us. Okay, so now we have one more, basically couple of more applications in which we have given this handheld device to the Gram Panchayat Rozgar Sahayak, from which they can request for pensions. We have got the resident register with us. All the population is registered, all kids, all old. So the Gram Panchayat Rozgar Sahayak can go and say, these people have requested for these kind of pensions, and these pensions will be made visible to the system at Janpad Panchayat. Janpad Panchayat will see that these are the people who have requested. Similarly, these are the family-oriented scheme wherein a person request, and request will be captured on the device. It will be synchronized onto the central server, where his request can be routed, and they will be considered based on certain merits or certain criteria. For this, let me just. For this, our TSC NBA also, we have come with the application that will allow us to capture the proposed location. So you have got three things. First thing is that whether you have a toilet, if this toilet is there, whether it's a functional or non-functional toilet, or you want a toilet, and if you want a toilet, where you want a toilet. So we basically propose that before you sanction a toilet, you must capture the geographical location of the proposed site. Okay, what we are thinking is that it should not happen that the toilet is being sanctioned to the same family again and again every year. So once we have a geotagged photograph of the proposed site, once the toilet is constructed, we can again take a geotagged photograph, and then this is basically survey. Before sanctioning the toilet, you need to survey whether the toilet is there, if it is there, useful, if it is there, if it not useful, then whether it has to be sanctioned and not sanctioned. Once it is done, and then what is the category of the family, this category of family is there, then you can geotagged photograph can be uploaded. So this is basically, other things are there, but crux is that we are using heavily GPS basically. GPS, if you use it, it allows you to capture the data of very high quality and make people allow you to make people responsible. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Jain Saab, and I'm sure that NIC would play a role of kind of backbone when we talk about different departments rolling out too many things, which we would be discussing. So we'll bank on your support, and it's also very courageous of you to point out and present a failure, because most of the time we don't have that courage. So thanks a lot for doing that.
No, but it's an idea, other people can implement it.
Correct.
The idea is that you want that things got delivered. That's all.
Okay.
Delivered on time at a proper place. These three things are there.
Thank
So
you very
can
much.
be used anywhere else.
Thank you very much. And before we move ahead, we have with us back Trevor Clark, Chief of UNICEF Bhopal. He wanted to be here till the end of the session, but there is a meeting called by Principal Secretary Health, so he'll have to rush. So I'll call him on the dais, and maybe he can address the gathering before he leaves. So Trevor.